Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for having me. My name is Amber Ferguson, and I'm here to talk to you about the environment, my passion, but specifically about microplastics in the cosmetic industry and how we have made changes in the cosmetic industry and how we can continue to make changes. You guys are the next generation of beauty therapists going forward, and you are in a changing industry. You have more choices and considerations to make than in any other time. And of course, I'm referring to the biggest topic of our lifetime, which is climate change and environmental issues. How this affects you and your industry, and knowing that change is inevitable, and how you can be part of that change and subsequently creating a more conscious industry. According to Sabrina Helm, a professor from the University of Arizona, climate change is a persistent global stressor. She has found that depression and anxiety affect people concerned about the environment. I believe this to be true, and if you've ever been part of any environmental movement, you will have seen how passionate people are about this topic. I was a qualified beauty therapist from 1994. I was a bright 18-year-old, just like you, and I was part of a booming trade that today turns over about approximately $1.9 billion a year. As the industry expanded, so did products and packaging, and I was conscious of using what was marketed to me as natural products. However, over time, I have become aware many companies had been using polyethylene. It's also known as a microplastic in products. This ingredient was used for its ability to be used in scrubs and bulking abilities, and also extended the shelf life of products, and it's relatively inexpensive. These microplastics are manufactured particles. They are as small as a grain of sand and are in so many of our everyday products, including toothpaste, facial cleansers, moisturizers, shower gels, body scrubs, facial scrubs, blush, foundation, eye makeup, lip makeup, shampoos, conditioners, sunblock and deodorant, and the list goes on. In some cases, more plastic was in the contents of the products than the actual packaging itself, which to me is completely mind-blowing that we have that amount of plastic inside our products. The Environmental Protection Agency report that these microplastics in cosmetics have only been widely used in the last 20 years, which is my whole career in the beauty industry. They are usually so small they are undetectable with the naked eye and cannot be removed from our wastewater treatment plants. Therefore, they are eventually expelled into the environment and they will never be able to be removed. Once in the environment, polyethylene microplastics are rather good at attracting other toxins, and this is where a big problem lies. These toxins, also known as POPs or persistent organic pollutants, such as PCBs and DDTs, they are harmful to both humans and the environment. Now, they are no longer used in any products anymore, these persistent organic pollutants, but they are still in our environment from many, many years ago. Researchers have indicated that the marine species cannot distinguish between their normal food sources and microplastics. And what they do is that they eat the polymer with the added toxins, and consequently, that is all transferred up the food chain and potentially consumed by humans. Now, I want you to take just a minute to digest that information. How this information makes you feel. You're a consumer of the products. You will potentially be a distributor of these products. If you're like me, you're going to feel a sense of responsibility and perhaps even overwhelm. And you probably will ask yourself over time, how am I supposed to help? And what am I supposed to do? And will this industry ever change, How do we turn this big ship around? Well, the change begins with questions and then comes action. In response to the research of plastics in our environment, momentum began to grow about how to begin to tackle this issue. And in 2015, ministers from all over Australia had put together a group to address this issue, and it was reported on TV by a few different programs such as BTN, which you may remember from school, and Landline. Now, for the record, cosmetics are not the biggest contributor of microplastics in the ocean. That award goes to single-use plastic that we're all aware of. And over time it's broken down into micro-sized plastics. But microplastics in cosmetics is an avoidable plastic that can be replaced by so many other products. And our job was to convince manufacturers to make that change. Following the reports, the Department of the Environment and Energy initiated and oversaw the voluntary phase out of these products sold in Australia. They were given a timeline of completion by July 2018, so time just gone. Due to consumer concern, large cosmetic retailers such as Coles and Woolworths were committed to not selling any products that continue to manufacture with microplastics and any other non-soluble polymers. The Australian federal government advised the industry that if the voluntary phase out was unsuccessful, it would actually implement a ban by the 1st of July 2017. Other countries such as the US and Canada have also made progress and have banned or phased out the use of microbeads or microplastics in cosmetic products. And in Australia, we have a regulatory process that can be amended to ensure that we protect ourselves and we protect our environment, highlighting the issue to our government and industry bodies and industry professionals so we can work together to make changes is the pathway to a majority of our environmental issues. In a survey conducted of 148 retail stores across Australia this year, out of 4,400 products, only 6% still contained microplastics. The products that made up the remaining 6% were foundations, blush and eye makeup, lip makeup, skin creams, moisturisers and facial scrubs. And there were no microplastics found in shampoos and conditioners, body washes or hand cleaners, which indicates that the phase out in that area was completely successful.